I chose this poem because I find nature to be extremely beautiful and important. Like Parks, I believe that nature has its own music. Whenever I travel to a natural place, I always feel surrounded by nature's beauty and song, just like Parks describes in her poem. Parks describes hills, clouds, animals, and plants, and how they all come together to create music. I connect to this message because I believe that all aspects of nature fit together and create beauty. Oftentimes, people don't take enough time to stop and appreciate nature. I believe that this poem helps readers find a connection to nature and reminds them to take the time to appreciate nature. This is music by Bessie Rayner Parks. Sweet melody amidst the moving spheres breaks forth a solemn and entrancing sound, a harmony whereof the earth's green hills give but the faintest echo. Yet is there a music everywhere, and concert sweet. All birds which sing amidst the forest deep, till the flowers listen with unfolded bells. All winds that murmur over summer grass, or curl the waves upon the pebbly shore. Chiefly, all earnest human voices raised, in charity and for the cause of truth, mingle together in one sacred chord, and float, a grateful incense, up to God. Bessie Rayner Parks was born on June 16, 1829. Her parents were wealthy intellectuals in England. She was educated at a progressive Unitarian boarding school, and she enjoyed her schooling very much. Parks was perhaps best known for her activism. She was a strong advocate for women's rights in England, and thus began her writing. She passed away in 1925 at the age of 95. Throughout her life, she published 14 books, a booklet on women's rights, and countless articles. The poem that I have selected, Music, addresses the music that nature creates. Her main message is that nature can create concerts for those who take the time to stop and listen. Parks begins by talking about the melody and harmony that the earth creates. She then talks about how there is music everywhere and that the concert is sweet. She then speaks of the animals and plants and wind that all add to the concert. She ends with referencing human voices that when raised together can send an incense up to God. Like nature, human voices that are pure and unified can also reach God. I believe that this relates to unity and equality, which were major parts of Parks's life, since she was a huge advocate for women's rights. Throughout her poem, Parks uses a great deal of imagery when describing the music. In addition, she uses a great deal of personification. She says how the flowers listen, the winds murmur, and the birds sing. This reemphasizes how relatable nature is to humans and how we should appreciate it. The poem is one single stanza and has no rhyme scheme, but is iambic pentameter, so therefore it is a blank verse. Parks also has enjambment in her poem, which creates a flow from one line to the next, kind of like a song would. The way her poem is written is quite simple, which is why I believe it is more effective in getting its message across. Rather than being too long and confusing, the poem is short and to the point. Parks is able to deliver her message to her reader without leaving much room for confusion. Music by Bessie Rayner Parks shows how nature's songs can be heard by anyone who stops to listen and how these songs are inherently tied to humans.